Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of The Split Decision. You're joined by me, Taku, and obviously my co-host to my side,
Hi.
Thomas. And today we're joined by a very, very special guest. We're joined by Blake Dietrick from the Atlanta Dream. Welcome to The Split Decision.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And obviously, before we get into, we have to shout out our sponsors, Kremlin and Mahogany. Kremlin, we had the giveaway winner. We announced all that. And, you guys should still go on the website, check out their stuff. Use Taki10, Tom10 if you really want to, but you don't have to. And also make sure, you're checking us out because we're here as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And without further ado, let's get straight to it. And Blake, our first question for you is, do you remember how old you were when you sort of first started playing basketball and your first memory playing it?
Yeah, so my mom worked at Wellesley College, which is the college in my town, and I would go to the basketball games, and the team was so sweet. And this when I was like 5 or 6, and the team was so sweet, and I'd go in the locker room after, and they'd like have me on their lap during the meeting with the coach. And so my first memories were always just of that being such a good family environment and like a great group of people. So I think that was really what drew me to the sport. And so I had like one of the, the little baby hoops that like kids have, can't reach the tall hoop. So they had one of those that they would bring out after the games. And so my first memories are like shooting on that little hoop before I could reach the 10-foot. Yeah.
No way. So growing up, did you have any other sports that you played besides basketball?
I did. I played lacrosse, and I played lacrosse all the way through college. That's not big? Is that big in Australia?
It's like not even heard of here.
Okay, that's what I figured. No, yeah. So that happens when I go overseas too, and I play in Europe. I'm like, I play lacrosse, and they're like, what the heck is that? But yeah, and I ran cross country and track and played soccer and football. Sorry, and like all of that stuff too.
Different football.
It sounds like different football.
Is it football for you guys, or is it soccer?
We've got a different football called AFL, and it's like a completely different game. Yeah.
Yeah. I played in Australia for a year. So.
Oh yeah. So you know the actual football.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's not the actual. It's a fake football. If we're ranking the three, it goes like soccer is like the football. Then you've got NFL, and then you've got Aussie rules because it's like. I'm about to get mad hate for that as well. I'm about to get mad hate for that.
You can't call the American one football. They use their hands. Come on.
It's the same thing with Aussie rules. I'm about to get mad hate. I already know it. But anyway. So like when you're playing basketball, did you ever hit this realization where it's like you wanted to go pro and like go professional with it?
Yeah, it happened really late for me because I didn't know in college, I didn't know if I'd be able to go pro. Only until my senior year or my final year that I like realized I even had a chance because my team, we were good, but it's a mid-major. So there's like different levels of the size of the school in the US, and the top colleges are all huge. And so Princeton's like middle of the road. And so like we don't get a ton of publicity and any of that. But then my senior year, we went 30-0. We were like ranked 13th in the country. So suddenly I was on the map. And so then it became a possibility that I could go pro. So it was a dream as a little kid. And then I went through a long phase where I didn't think it would ever happen. And then suddenly it became a possibility again.
Right. So did you ever have a basketball idol or someone that you tried to model your game after?
Yeah, for sure. I had a notebook, and on the cover of it, I had Jason Kidd. You guys are young. I don't know if you're like.
No, we know Jason Kidd.
Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. So it's crazy now that I've played with two out of the three.
Right.
Well, I played against Diana and played with Sue. So that's been pretty cool.
Awesome.
So like other than basketball, like in general, do you have like people around you that you sort of looked up to as you were growing up?
Yeah, I think I looked to, my parents for sure. I'm the oldest. I just have my brother and I. He's younger than me. But there were always older girls and women in high school and college that I admired and wanted to be like. There's a woman who's in the league now. Her name's Carolyn Swords. She played basketball at BC, Boston College in Massachusetts, where I'm from. And she was just this amazing person, like amazing player, but amazing off the court. She was involved in philanthropy and like her community and all of that stuff. So she was a great role model beyond basketball. And so I tried to be as much like her as possible. And then again, now we're friends and I played with her, and that's pretty cool that that's how it all comes full circle.
Right. So moving on to high school now. So you had a very decorated, high school playing career. What was it like playing basketball there?
It was awesome. I went to public school because my parents didn't want to pay for a private school, quite honestly. So they picked a good town where the schools were really good, but most of the best athletes in our town would go to private school because the sports were better. You had a better chance of getting recruited to go to college and all that kind of stuff. So we weren't the best team, but it didn't really matter. It was super fun. And we won the state championship in basketball my freshman year. So that was awesome. But I guess it was kind of, we peaked early.
It just went downhill after that.
But it was good. And we played club. I always played club as well. So yeah, you played high school and club at the same time. So.
Awesome.
I mean, it's all right. Tom peaked late with his 2 game-winning free throws. So
why do we bring it up? Why do we have to bring it up?
No, I've got to make sure they know that you're clutch.
I am clutch.
You're clutch. So.
Mr. Fourth Quarter is my nickname.
It's not, but it's definitely not. But.
Ice in my veins.
So you left your school with 1,400 career points, which was the most of any male or female. What was it like leaving with the record under your belt, sort of?
Yeah, it was really cool. I think it was great to hit 1,000 points when I did because, that's a big milestone, and my teammate and I actually did it in the same game. And she's one of my best friends, to this day, one of my best friends of all time. And they were counting our points, they had a little score sheet in the stands. And so they were counting as we each got there. And I think she got there just before me. And then we both did, and they flipped it to 1,000, and that was super exciting. And then we each got a ball after the game. But then it was nice. I'm not going to lie. It was nice to be the all-time leading scorer for the men too. That definitely was a positive for me. Cause you never know if it's going to be the same, and it's nice to hold the record for both.
Awesome. So you talked about, winning a lot, but you didn't speak about you led your team to an 84-9 record during your time. What was it like being a part of such this dominant high school team?
Yeah, it was awesome. I just felt like we should have won the championship more. I guess high expectations after freshman year because we did really well. But then, when you get to playoffs and it's just one game and done, there's no series like there is in the pros. So if you have one off night, your chances are over. So it was awesome, but I feel like we could have been better.
You also mentioned that you played club. It's with the Raiders, if I'm correct.
The Raiders are my high school team.
Oh,
the Jags are my team.
But so
Taku.
it's like doing so much research. I was reading everything. It's a sort of get mixed up a bit. But
no, you're fine.
So I'll skip that one because I don't want to mess it up. But in your senior year of high school, you left as the Massachusetts Gatorade Player of the Year, as well as the ESP. You're also part of the ESPN Boston First Team All Selection, and also it was a bunch of stuff as well. But what did it mean to leave, scooping up all these awards?
Yeah, it was awesome. But I always think I have my team to thank for everything. Whenever I've been successful, I've been on a good team. I've never been a player who's a star on a bad team. I don't think I would even be successful in that situation because I think I'm very much a pass first player, and I like to get my teammates involved and make the whole team better. So for me, I think I'd be miserable on a team like that where it was just here, give you the ball, do whatever, do everything for us. I don't think that would work for me. But it was really funny, one of those trophies. So my name's Blake, which is arguably a boy's name more than a girl's name. And so one of the trophies was for Miss and Mr. basketball, Massachusetts basketball. And they actually put Mr. Blake Dietrick on my trophy. And I still have it because it's a huge ball with a big stand and everything. To this day, I'm very proud of it, even though it's
Right. So looking back at your high school resume, it spans across basketball, lacrosse, all these sports. But did you have a favorite high school moment?
I think, yeah, so in the state championship game my freshman year, I didn't play a ton, as a freshman, but it was a close game and it was the third quarter and we were kind of starting to pull away, but not quite. Like they kept fighting back. So we'd score, they'd score, go back and forth. The end of the third quarter, the clock's running down and I had somehow ended up with the ball at half court and I just heaved the ball. And somehow it magically goes in. My team goes crazy. And my coaches, if you watch it back, they lose their minds on the side. It's so funny. And I had never hit a shot like that before in my career. And it was just a momentum thing. And I really felt like it pushed us into the fourth quarter. But just being a freshman, being new to the team, my teammates were so happy and excited for me. And it just really felt like a family moment and they were so proud of me. And yeah, so I think that's definitely one of my favorite sports memories.
And just like people in Australia, I think freshman is equivalent to year 9, which is 15. So that's pretty much 15. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
And it was at the Celtics arena. Sorry, but it was played the Celtics play, so the Boston Celtics. So that was even better.
Even better, yeah.
On that court, yeah.
That's awesome.
peak life moment.
Yeah, I peaked. I'm telling you, I peaked early.
I peaked when we didn't meet Kendrick Lamar.
Why, bro? Why are you gonna make me
supposed
sad
to
right
meet Kendrick
now?
Lamar.
Why are you gonna make me
supposed
sad
to meet
right
Kendrick
now?
Lamar.
So you went on to attend went on to attend Princeton. What was that recruiting process like and choosing to go there?
Yeah, I was not heavily recruited because Massachusetts basketball isn't very strong. So I don't know how it is in Australia, if the states are different qualities of basketball or if that's not really like that. But for us, the West and the South are really good at basketball and the Northeast is not. So for me, I had to tell Coach Banghart Courtney that I wanted to come and play at Princeton. And I emailed her and would call her and was fighting for my spot. So finally she said, okay, you can come to our elite camp because they have an elite camp every year to look at recruits. She said, you can come and we'll see how it goes. So no promises, no guarantees, nothing. And then I got to camp and I did really well. And so at the end of camp, she said, we have a spot for you if you want it. So that was awesome. That was my dream come true. I'd always wanted to go to Princeton. But then it got a little dicey because I then got an email from the lacrosse coach because I had just played in a tournament. And the lacrosse coach was like, hey, I don't know how we missed you, but we have a spot for you on our roster if you want it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It was such a hard decision because I loved both sports, wanted to play both sports. But I ended up choosing basketball initially. And then, the rest is history.
So speaking of
wait, I was gonna say one thing. I'm if you didn't hear from me, but Victoria is definitely the best sport at basketball.
That's true. I've heard that statement many times.
We're definitely not from Victoria.
I've heard Melbourne.
An unbiased opinion.
Melbourne definitely the best team in the league.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Can't confirm.
We didn't say that. We didn't say that.
All right. Anyway, so do you remember that first feeling of college basketball?
Oh yeah, and so freshman year, I don't know what the equivalent is in Australia. I'm sorry.
First year for us, I think.
Yeah.
We suck. We don't have any cool names.
No, Australia sucks when it comes to that stuff. We're so trash.
We have the best coffee in the world. I'll tell you.
We do have good coffee, but
flat white.
Suck at everything else.
Forever order.
What was that?
What?
So what did you say? Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, sorry. I just said flat white is my order.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think in college they call it, or we called it the 0+ club your freshman year, because when you look at the box score, if you don't play a full minute, it doesn't give the number of seconds you played. It just says 0+. So the freshman class is the 0+ club, and that was freshman year for us. We were on a good team. We weren't going to come in and be superstars right away, but you just felt like you were playing for something bigger than yourself. And in college, that was the most I ever felt like that. The pros is different when you have a salary and it's your livelihood and you're worried about money. But college, it's just all about the game and playing for your team and representing your school. And so the whole time at Princeton, I felt like that. It didn't matter if I played 0+ minutes or 40 minutes. It mattered. So yeah, I mean, my college experience was amazing.
Awesome.
Also, moving from Massachusetts to Princeton, what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I wanted to be decently away from home, but not too far. So it's like a 5-hour drive. So it's not too bad, but it was enough that my parents could come to games and be there and support. And my grandparents live in New Jersey, so they were able to come to games, and that was really important to me. But it was challenging for sure, my first Christmas away, because when you play a winter sport, you don't get a Christmas break really. So my first Christmas was really hard to be away from my family, but you get used to it and you lean on your teammates and lean on your friends and you just get through it because it's worth it.
It's all worth it in the end. So you were named an All Ivy League first team as a junior in 2013-14. What was the feeling of making that team?
I actually found out in lecture, and I got so excited. I was in like a ancient Greek like philosophy lecture, and I got so excited I had to get up and leave because I couldn't sit. Because I didn't expect it. That was totally a surprise. So I had to get up and like just walk around a little bit and get my excitement out and then come back. But it was also disappointing because we didn't win the Ivy League that year. That was my 1 year in college that we didn't win the conference championship. So I know I get like high standards, but still it just left a bad taste in our mouth.
I can imagine the teachers like they're talking about Socrates and stuff, and you're just like, I gotta go. I just made the first team. See you later.
Yeah, right?
I'm bigger than this now.
Yeah, dumb duck class.
I always say to Tom, it's lucky that I'm never got good, because if I was good, I wouldn't be able to keep it in. I'm better than all of you now. I'm leaving. I'm done.
I'm out. See ya.
I'm out.
Oh my god.
So you also led the Ivy League in assists and setting the single season assist record. Was there like a specific way you approached that season that allowed you to do this?
Yeah, I think just trusting my teammates. There was a time in the year when we had 3 people, including myself, but 2 other people in the top like 12 in the nation in 3-point percentage. So when you have people who can shoot the ball that well, like you can distribute and you're going to score points. So it's easy for me when my teammates can make shots. Again, like you get assists because your teammates can make shots as well as you being able to pass well. So for me, it was just trusting that if I put people in the right place and if coach put people in the right place to score, then I was very happy giving up the ball and scoring when I needed to score, but passing when that was the right decision.
Right. So at Princeton, you guys went 30-0 during the regular season of your last year, and you won the conference. What was like the key to being undefeated that year?
I think it was just every single person bought in. Like I said, the way I felt my freshman year, I think the whole team felt that way. No matter how much they were playing, no matter if they were hurt or whatever, everyone was bought in. There's actually a funny story about that season. So when we were like 3-0 at the beginning of the year, I looked at the rest of our schedule and I was talking to my dad and he was like, you know what? I think you could run the table. And I was like, you know what? I think we could too. And so I was on the bus with one of my teammates, Annie, and she has a very dark hair. And so I was like, hey, Annie, if we go undefeated, will you bleach your hair? Which is like so random, like so ridiculous, no reason to think that. And she, looking at how many games we had left, she was like, yeah, sure. And we shook on it and it was like a full bet and everything. End of the year comes and she is bleach blonde for the tournament. Like absolutely horrendous.
No.
So ugly. But she did it. She was a trooper and pushed through, and it was the funniest thing to this day. Her yellow hair. Oh my god, it was horrible.
Was it pro done or was it just done like at home with front of her mates?
She went to a hairdresser, but they didn't do a good job.
Okay, just butchered. Shame on them.
It's better than us. It's better than us. I think I had to bet my friend George, and I had to shave his head. We all just ended up going at someone's house and just shaving his head.
It was a group effort.
It was
a group effort. Everyone had to go. Everyone had a good time.
There was like 15 people just standing around this one kid getting his head shaved. And then when it all got shaved off, everyone was just slapping his head because it was bald. It was so funny. It was such a good night.
Did you like draw in his hair with the buzzer?
We were going to do things to it, but then we felt bad because his mum would have killed us. So we're like, and because he wasn't sleeping. The Clippers did suck, but he wasn't. I mean, just like this season, the Clippers suck. But he didn't have. the next day he had to catch a bus home. So I was like, oh, do we want to embarrass him going home the next day? That was good.
You guys are half nice.
Oh, we're half nice. I mean, I wouldn't say full nice.
Can't be completely mean to him, but
hey, look, nothing wrong with bleaching your hair. I can confirm. If it's done by the right person, it's all right. Anyway.
Then, you were chosen as an All-American honorable mention by the Associated Press Women's Basketball Coaches Association. Did this mean anything, or was it fuel or anything like that?
Yeah, that's like the biggest award you can get as a college player. Obviously, honorable mention is like the lowest level, but it's still, just to be an All-American was an incredible honor. I think there's only been a couple mid-major kids to even get that honor. So it was a great way to culminate that senior season for sure.
Right. So in your final year, you were named Ivy League Player of the Year. I mean, was this something like, obviously it was big, but like, what did it mean to you?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest one, other than our team accolades of like 13th in the country, 30-0, like that kind of stuff. Being Ivy League Player of the Year, just being and unanimously named was really nice as well, because it means all the coaches from all the other teams think that you're better than their players. So like that's like an extra compliment. Yeah, it was incredible. And they framed my jersey and gave me my jersey, which was wonderful, because then I got to give that to my parents as like a gift and a thank you, because the Ivy League as well, they don't give athletic scholarships. So my parents had to pay for my university. So to give them just like the thank you of like, this was worth it. Like, look at how well everything went. I got a degree. I got these amazing awards. Like, they were so proud. So that was awesome.
Yeah, college just sounds like a blast. Uni here is just nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Same, right? Yeah.
It's not. You guys have like all these events and basketball tournaments. I mean, we've got bars that we go to after uni. That's it. That's the extent of the
drink the pain away.
Drink the pain. That's the extent of the culture in Australia. Just drinking. That's what we got.
The sad thing is, it's true. We're not even like we're not even exaggerating.
We drink at university. Like, we drink a ton too.
I know, but that's all we've got. At least you guys got basketball.
Sports are separate, right?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I actually don't think university.
They do sports, but it's just not big. Yeah.
My they do. I have no idea.
My uni does, but like it sucks. No offense, Latrobe. Please don't kick me out.
Yeah, wait, you go to Latrobe?
Yeah, I go to Latrobe.
Oh, I played in Bendigo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice.
So beautiful. We had like our trainer or something was from Latrobe, and they were doing some study on us.
Yeah, because we're like linked to heaps of schools there. Small world, I tell you, small world.
Small world.
Small island Australia.
So, following your college career, what experiences were you able to take with you as you moved on to the professional game?
Yeah, I think just the ability to adapt, because high school to college is a really difficult change. And then again, college to pros, it's the same type of thing. But you learn the same skills of like working hard, needing to put in more time. If things aren't working, you need to figure it out. Watching film, scouting the other team, like all of those things still apply. And then overseas, you have so much time to do nothing because you don't have your studies anymore. So you either can use that time productively to get better at the game, or you can sit and watch Netflix and do whatever you want, which is great too. Don't get me wrong. I did plenty of that, but there's also a lot of time to practice and develop your game.
Right. So we're speaking about like, you know, cultures, you know, in America and in Australia, but like, what was your favorite memory from like your college career?
I think winning the first tournament game, we played Green Bay, and it was the first ever win in the NCAA tournament for Princeton. So it was like a really big deal. And Barack Obama was at that game. Michelle Obama was at the game. There were 2 Supreme Court justices at the game because they were Princeton alums. So they came to watch us, and it was just, it was freaking awesome. My parents were so proud. They like have footage of me running up into the stands after the game and like hugging my parents. And and actually my boyfriend, who I'm dating now, was in the stands as a fan at Princeton. And like, we weren't together at that point, but it's really cool now that we can like share that experience together, even though he was just like another kid with his shirt off, like go Tigers or whatever. But it was funny.
It's crazy, just like how everything's the world's interconnected in crazy ways.
Some would say small world. I don't know. It's just word on the street.
We get it.
Obama, goddamn, he's icon. Anyway.
Is it me or you?
It's you, man. It's you. No, it's you.
It's you.
I know. I just asked about the college career.
You did. Okay, that's on me. I thought it was you. I was legit like...
You're an idiot.
Following your college career in 2015, you had 2 training camp stints with the Washington Mystics and the Los Angeles Sparks, who unfortunately were waived. What were you able to take from this, and how were you able to bounce back from it?
Yeah, training camp is hard. It's the hardest 2 weeks of the year. And especially my first year when you don't know what to expect. You don't know how hard it's going to be. You don't know any of the plays. You don't know any of the players on the team. Your first training camp is definitely the most challenging. So then I think after those 2, coming back and trying out in Seattle, I knew what to expect. I knew what I needed to do to make a team. I did more of my homework about the players that were going to be there, who I was going to be fighting for a spot with, all of that kind of stuff. And then I was so much more prepared at that point. And also I had a season overseas in Italy. So I knew, again, like another level of the game, because I came straight from college to DC. So I didn't even know the pro game at all. But then to have a whole season in Italy and then come back and try to play in the WNBA again, it was easier.
Awesome. So in 2016, you went to sign with the Seattle Storm as a free agent. Was there any specific reason to sign with them?
I spoke with the coach on the phone, and Jenny just seemed to have a really good head about her and like a really good attitude, and wanted to bring me in, knew what I could do, appreciated what I could do, and wanted to bring me into the team. I just vibed with her really well. Honestly, that's like the best answer I can give. I'd never been to Seattle. But I ended up with 2 Aussies on my team that year. Abby Bishop and Jenna O'Hay were both on that team. And they were wonderful teammates for sure. So that was cool too.
I mean, Australia represent, but hey.
Yeah.
everywhere.
So you went on to play 2 games with the Seattle Storm. I was about to say the Sonics. What was that first exposure of WNBA basketball like for you?
Yeah, it was terrible. I turned the ball over in like my first minute, and the other girl took it the length of the court and made a layup. But it's actually really funny. I was just talking about this the other day, because that was Jasmine Thomas. She plays for Connecticut. And just the other night before I left the bubble, she and I there was a bunch of people together hanging out, and she came over to me and she said, "Hey, I just want you to know that I have so much respect for you, and I appreciate people who aren't handed anything, who have to work for everything they've got." And she just was like, "I respect you, like you're doing great, whatever." So for her, who gave me my like welcome to the league moment, to like 4 years later come up to me and be like, "You're doing well, I respect you," like that was so crazy and meant so much to me. So again, just the world's crazy. It's a small world. We're just gonna keep saying
Small world.
So you later went on to sign a 7-day contract with the San Antonio Stars. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, it was weird because I kind of checked out for the summer. So I thought that I wasn't going to be playing anymore. So then to go into that team and like they're in the middle of the season, everybody's settled, and I just hopped in. It was definitely not conducive to being super successful. But it was okay. I mean, I scored a basket, like it was fine. I didn't like San Antonio very much, to be honest. Not the best city in the United States. So that was tough too. But overall it was a good experience. And I actually ended up I was playing for Dan Hughes then, who then signed me back to Seattle last year. So maybe it was important. I didn't realize.
I mean, me and Tom have our little big list of cities to go into the U.S. We just got to cross San Antonio. Cross San Antonio. Not going to go to San Antonio now.
No, not worth it.
So, following that, you had a brief.
On the whole America trip. We're on the whole American trip. Cross America off.
The place I wanted to go. The place I wanted to go the most.
Cross America off now.
So following that, you had a brief stint here in Australia where you played with the Bendigo Spirit. I mean, it should have been the Melbourne Boomers, but that's all right.
I know.
Ooh.
I wish.
Let it slide.
We'll let it slide. Why did you decide to move to Bendigo and play for the Spirit?
Yeah, I think I was just excited to be in Australia, to be honest. I'd heard so many good things about the country and the people, and it did not disappoint. Our season wasn't great. We didn't do very well, but I loved my teammates. I loved every single person, the food, the travel, everything about it was amazing. And the fact that you guys speak the same language is really nice when you go overseas usually and you have to learn a new language every time you go. It was just nice that you guys speak English. But driving on the other side of the road, that was tricky.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, I wouldn't call it the same language. Like, I'd say Australia is just like a...
Yeah, I was going to say like the slang.
A more deformed version of English. But like, we struggle to pronounce words in full.
You struggle to perform.
I did that. You did that.
I just did that.
You proved my point.
The one time I could. Oh my gosh! All right.
Yeah, moving on. But yeah, Australian language. I wouldn't say English, but I'd say it's interesting.
There's definitely some slang I forget. It's even the same though with like different languages in Europe and Australian. I was coming back and was saying like the slang stuff just off the cuff, and now I barely remember any of it.
Someone's like, "Hey, you got a durry?" Just like, what? What's going on?
Yeah, I have no
out
idea.
of everything. Oh my god.
Oh, well, what should we say? Servo. Like come on, servo is the standard.
Is it though?
Hey, moving on.
Macca's. I always like saying Macca's is a good example because they don't say Macca's in the US.
But Macca's...
McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's so easy to say Macca's. Like, imagine having to pronounce McDonald's every time. You know? It's just a drainer. Like, you have to say the whole word.
A whole word.
Like McDonald's run, Macca's run. Just like, save time. More time to go to the Macca's. That second...
second.
Hey, don't waste time is money, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. 0.5 really does add up. Like after a million.
You know, when we give our advice to kids these days, I tell you, I've got some bangers for them. Anyway, moving on. So, like, moving to Bendigo, how was that experience of like living here, like, for you?
Yeah, it was great, except, well, I mean, Bendigo's nice, don't get me wrong, but, like, it's a country town for sure.
Yeah.
And, that was a little bit different than I was expecting, like, not Melbourne or Sydney or, like, Perth, for example, which are other places that we played throughout the year. But it was still amazing. I loved all the people, and there was plenty to do, and you could get to Melbourne quickly. So, but with how much we travel for games and stuff, you're in and out constantly anyway. So it was good. It was great.
Oh, what was your favorite city to play, like where you played at in Melbourne?
In Australia?
In Australia?
Yeah.
I think either Sydney or Perth. Just the beaches in Perth were like incredible, but Sydney was amazing too. So much good food. Oh my god.
Yeah. Sydney, BTEC Melbourne, but we'll move on.
Yeah. I'll let it slide. That hurt a little bit because Melbourne is the most livable city. So it's okay.
I will say are you guys from Melbourne?
Yeah, we're from. We live in Melbourne.
Yeah, we live in Melbourne.
This is stupid, and I'm sure it's super touristy. But have you ever done like the penguins?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Walk up onto the beach. That was like my favorite thing that I did.
Yeah, it's really cute.
So if it makes you feel any better, that was.
No,
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I mean, I'm not bleeding. I'm not bleeding, but like it hurts here when you said that.
She dissed the most livable city. That does hurt. Like Perth.
Sorry.
No. Perth is acceptable. Good fishing there. I can confirm Perth is decent.
No, it's alright. It's alright. That's alright.
Yeah, you're gonna continue to talk.
So unfortunately, I was going to. Unfortunately, with the Spirit, you guys missed the playoffs that season. How did you take this as you moved on and played in Greece?
Yeah, it was not the best year for me personally or the team. So I think it was really good that I had a summer off then to just work on my game and like be better and prepared for the next season. And then going into Greece, I was just ready because I'd had such a long break. I was ready to go. I was ready to kill it. And so that season went much better in Australia.
So in 2017, you signed to a Greece team. Oh man, I'm gonna
Say it. No, say it.
I'm gonna butcher the name.
Say it.
If George was here, he'd smash it. Daphne Agil Dimitriou.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
So what was the transition to Greece like for you?
It was actually really good because I got on, you know, the app Duolingo?
Oh, yeah.
Languages. Amazing. I got on there really early. Yeah, they should sponsor this podcast.
Duolingo, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
I got on there and tried to learn Greek as much as possible. So when I got there, I could communicate with my teammates, and that was beyond helpful because it's a really tough language. The alphabet's different. Like, there's so much that's challenging about it, and I had never studied anything like that in school, obviously. So to be able to communicate with them was huge. Also, Athens is a pretty commercial city, so there's a lot of people who do speak English, so that was helpful as well. And then the people in Greece are incredible too. So everyone was super nice and super welcoming. And the league wasn't fantastic, so it was like easier to, like, the Australian league is tough. You guys, like, the league is really solid. So the Greek league was a little bit weaker, so it was easier to kill it.
Easier to drop a bucket.
Yeah.
Can you still say anything in Greek now?
Yeah, I know how to order my coffee because really, that's a big thing for me. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if I were ordering for us, I would say, "Μπορούμε να έχουμε tre freddo." That's what I would say.
Greek people, translate that in the comments. George.
I ordered 3 iced cappuccinos, like frozen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, good to be fair, my language abilities cap at the 7 years I did of Spanish.
Hey, well,
you're the one that was. Look, to confirm, Taku did say the first time I met him, he was telling me English wasn't actually his first language.
It isn't. Yeah. English isn't my first language, and I bang at it. So
same. We get it. You don't need to flex. You don't need to flex. We're just chilling. Like, what was the flex? Come on, chill.
So, what was your first language then?
Do you know Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Shona was like, when I was like, I grew up in Zimbabwe for 5 years, so Shona was my first language. But you can't ask me to speak it because, I forgot. But
I did that, but like, I don't know how to do it anymore. Like,
it's gone.
Yeah, it like faded, but I still count it as my first language, even though I don't speak it anymore.
Yeah, it counts for sure.
Oh my god, standard talking.
I can't. So
come on, order 3 coffees in Sean Taku.
I don't even know, bro. Why are you gonna call me out like that?
Anyway, continue.
So playing basketball in Europe, both in Italy and Greece, what was that experience like for you?
It was awesome. It was really challenging to be away from home. A little bit different than 5 hours from home for the first time, But my family came to visit everywhere I played, and you get breaks, and I did my best to travel and see each country and immerse myself in the culture as much as possible. So they were incredible experiences. Greece is one of my favorite countries I've ever been to. It's like the most beautiful place. So definitely want to get back there when all this COVID craziness is over.
Did you get to go to Mykonos while you were there?
I did. I went to Mykonos and Santorini. Yeah, they were both amazing.
Santorini.
Yeah, Mykonos was my first place that I went because and it was I just looked at the ferry schedule, saw if we could do it, and we just sent it and we went, and it was amazing. We had the best time.
It's beautiful. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So in 2018, you moved back to the US, signing with Dream. What was it like moving back there?
Yeah, it was great. I'd never lived in Atlanta, but it was awesome to get a chance to play a full season in the WNBA finally. Like, been out so much, and then like really felt like I was solid with the team. So that was amazing. And best teammates in the league at that point, and we were second in the league in the regular season, so that was awesome as well. And that coaching staff is the same staff that coached me this year, so that was good too.
Awesome.
The important question is, do you recommend Atlanta?
Yes, keep Atlanta on the list. And if you want barbecue, if you want like real good American barbecue, I will tell you where to go.
Okay. Well, so
We'll see.
after England,
America,
Atlanta.
yeah. Atlanta. I think Offset isn't like the Migos from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which one is it, like Takeoff or something?
No, Migos are from Atlanta. They're an Atlanta rap group.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
You said Migos. You said I don't know what you said. Something else. What's that?
Is it all of them or is it just one of them? I swear it was only just one of them.
No, it's all of them.
That's all of them?
Yeah. Why are we going into the history?
I don't know.
of Migos
Shut up, Migos.
Why are you shouting out? Migos don't need a shout out from us.
Mama.
Last year you signed with Seattle. What was it like going back there?
It was great. I love the city. Again, Seattle, keep it on the list.
On the list.
Easier to get to. That's easier to get to from Melbourne. But the food is so good. The weather is awesome. And then again, like the people were great. And it was nice that I was coming back to people who I'd played with before. The majority of the team was coming back. So it wasn't like you had to start over from scratch. I just fit in better, and it was easier to make that transition than starting over with a whole new team.
Right. So you've been able to take your game to a new level now that you've re-signed with the Dream. Like, how have you been able to do that? Like, how's the training been and all that?
Well, it's been tough with quarantine. It was really hard. But then when we got back into training camp and everything, then it comes back quickly. And then I think basketball is so much just about your confidence. So if you put in the work and you know that you've put in the time just with reps, and then you're confident on the court, it's going to make a huge difference in knowing what you can do and believing that you're capable of playing at whatever level you're at. I think my first couple years in the league, I was just hesitant and nervous because I didn't know if I belonged there. I didn't know if I deserved to be there. And so once I had the confidence and belief in myself and the belief from my teammates and my coaches that I could do it, it wasn't that I was putting in a ton of like extra work. Don't get me wrong. I put in a lot of work, but it wasn't like I flipped a switch and like was doing way, way more. It was just believing that I could be there and deserve to be there.
So you just got done with the bubble, or as the media have dubbed it, the wobble. The wobble. So what was your experience like being in there?
It was mad. It was crazy. Like we were tested every single day. We had to wake up every morning, take our temperature. Every time we went into the court for practice, we had to take our temperature. You couldn't order you couldn't go anywhere. Obviously, you're in the bubble, so you have to order all your groceries, order any food. And we played every other day. So everyone's bodies are broken down. There's been a ton of injuries this year. And it was crazy. It was terrible and it was great at the same time. Like, there were so many parts of it that were amazing, but there were so many parts that were like, I can't wait to get the heck out of here.
So for those of our listeners who haven't watched you play ball before, how would you describe your game to them?
I think especially in the league, I'm a shooter, 3-point shooter. And other than that, I am a distributor, pass first, point guard, bring a ton of energy, and will defend anybody you ask me to defend, and like to think I'm a pretty solid defender. But
yeah.
Do you have a 3-point celebration?
I mean, when I'm on the bench and my teammates are shooting, I'd probably just sweep the three. But on the court, I don't do anything. I'm pretty good.
You just described Taku's gameplay, basically. It's exactly how Taku plays. Just absolute baller on the court.
Oh,
man,
I thought you were about to violate me. I was gonna.
Man drops triple doubles on a regular. He's like Russell Westbrook.
No, I don't want to be Russell Westbrook. You know, Russell Westbrook gets bounced out.
Like I say, he's Russell Westbrook that can shoot. He's Russell Westbrook that can shoot. He's more like Oscar Robertson. So God, this gets out of hand sometimes.
All right. So Do you still have any remaining goals that you want to complete as your career continues to pan out?
I think I just want to keep playing as much as I can, keep scoring, and hopefully become a solid player in the league and a contributor regardless of the team. And yeah, just keep getting better and keep improving and not ever be satisfied with where I am, but always know that there's room to improve.
Right. Jeez, sorry. So now we can move on to questions that our followers asked us to ask you, right? So the first question is, I mean, this one's actually from us, this one ourselves, because the next two, they're big questions for us. Who is your NBA GOAT?
The NBA GOAT? Oh my gosh.
The NBA GOAT.
Did you all watch the Jordan documentary?
Yeah, we've watched it.
I feel like it's gotta be MJ.
Another vote for Taku.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Lovely.
What's yours, Tom?
Pardon?
Who's yours?
Mine's still Jordan, but like I just like to stick up for LeBron. He doesn't get through.
Oh, he's not my second choice.
Kobe's accepted.
Thank you.
Kobe is definitely accepted.
We Taku. Lovely.
Yeah, we would have taken Kobe over MJ as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
Actually, where's your jersey? Yeah, the high school jersey.
In the background as always.
I saw it. I was wondering. Wow.
Taku's a massive Kobe fan.
Kobe.
He's what got Taku into basketball.
The book.
Damn, that is nice.
Mamba mentality.
Yeah. Kobe wins.
Kobe always wins. Got that Mamba mentality.
So, that's 2 wins for me, Michael Jordan vote. And, it's a good day.
I'm taking Doncic as my vote then from earlier.
Not the... Oh, okay, yeah, you can add.
We'll take... He's young generation, so he's a part of us.
Second most important question. You've obviously played against a lot of all-time great WNBA players, but in your opinion, who is the WNBA GOAT?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. Does it have to be someone I've played against, or
it can be anyone?
Anyone. It can be anyone.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
We've got a couple in mind.
I mean, Sue and Diana do come to mind immediately, just because of like longevity and how many championships they won and like all of that kind of stuff. They're definitely in the conversation. But if we're talking like top, I feel like Lisa Leslie's got to be in there. Cheryl Swoops has got to be in there. Like some of the older generation, like the OGs. But I don't know. It's tough. That's tough.
Tamika Catchings never gets a shout out.
Taku's just like
Catch, no, for sure. She's in the conversation.
Tamika Catchings in the conversation.
Funny story. Obviously she's retired and coaching for Indiana. So we were finishing practice and they were on the court next to us. And Catch just came over and our coach was like, "You want to shoot?" And she just steps up to the 3-point line and just starts draining. I kid you not, like she was 5 for 5 from one spot and she moved on 5 for 5 from the next spot. Like couldn't miss. I was like, okay, this woman, like, respect. She's not even playing and she still got it. So
sometimes you just never lose it. Some people
Tom at the free throw line, you
don't lose it.
Never lose it.
I'm like Jordan. I look at the guy next to me and I say, I'll do it with my eyes closed and just see.
Oh, yeah.
If that isn't the most truthful story you've ever heard, I don't know what is. A lot of people would say Lauren Jackson as well. We get that a lot.
Yes, for sure.
Miss Jackson.
Definitely.
Yeah, so who'd you say in the end? Sorry?
I don't know. It's really hard. I think so is Sue. I think Sue Bird.
Sue, all right.
Yeah, but duo, Sue and Lauren, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I think that's the first. I think because we've had a lot of Australian WNBL players.
That's true.
All of them do tend to say Lauren Jackson. I think Sue Bird. This is the first Sue Bird shot we've gotten.
Yeah.
So you've made split decision history.
Well, usually point guards don't get that. I feel like people tend to pick like a scorer, but I appreciate Sue's role on every team she's been on, and she's definitely the PG GOAT for sure.
So, geez, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So what's your favorite memory so far of your playing career?
Like professional career?
Oh, all time.
Oh yeah, all time.
Well, I don't want to say one I've said already. So probably when I played in Spain, the past couple seasons, we made it to like the round of 8 for Euro Cup. And that was like, it was the best that team had ever done. It was like historical for the team. So that was really awesome. And that was a good group of people. And I speak Spanish. So again, like was more connected to those teammates. So that was really awesome for sure. It's cool to make history for a club and for a town like that, because you can see that it matters to people. Like in the town afterwards, people had cut out the newspaper clipping and like gave it to us, or would be saying congratulations, and like it's awesome. You feel valued. You feel like you matter.
Yeah.
Another one. Do you still get nervous about games? Oh yeah.
Depends on the game. Sometimes I do, but most of the time not really anymore, because I know I've done the work. I know how to do my job, and yeah, I just go out there and play.
Yeah,
which is crazy. But if it were playoffs, like for sure, I'd still be nervous.
You go out against LA Sparks, you're like, oh yeah, another day at the office. You go out against you go out against Melbourne, you start shaking. You know, you don't know what's coming.
Boomers, you know.
The boomers.
The boomers.
So do you have any specific pre-game routine that you go through?
Superstitions.
I'm very particular about, I'm particular about like the whole day. So I don't know if you want me to give you like my whole schedule.
Oh no, run it through.
I mean, I can be quick about it. So we have shoot around at like 10, have a cup of coffee before that, and then go to shoot around. And then after shoot around till game time is like chill. So I have like, do you know Normatec boots? They're like the recovery boots people have. They put air, they blow up with like air in them.
Yeah.
Do the boots, watch film. 4 hours before the game, I'll eat. And then like 3.5 hours before the game, have another cup of coffee. Then we'd get on the bus around 2 hours before the game, listen to music on the bus, usually the same playlist. And then this might be embarrassing. I don't know if you guys know this song, but do you know Magenta Rhythm by like, I'm not pronouncing it right. Hold on, let me see. That's always what I would listen to on the walk in.
I don't think I've heard of it, no.
It's
I'm trying to think.
It's DJ Snake.
DJ Snake.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I haven't heard of it. I have not heard of it, no.
Anyway, it's a pump up song. It's great. And then I did have a superstition that we have our shoe bag comes in like with all our gear, and I would give 2 of my teammates, I would bring their shoes to them, Shakina Strickland and Benai Jalani, just because they're vets and like it was just a good thing to do. And then I immediately get dressed and am first on the court to do like my own personal warm up. So that's really my time where I like get my head right, because I'm on the court. No one else is out there yet. It's just me and the assistant coach. So I can like focus and get my shots up and be ready for the game.
Right. I mean,
so nothing super weird, but
it's nothing super weird.
But very consistent.
You should substitute the coffee for naps. I'm telling you, that's sleeping.
I knew you were gonna say that as well.
Sleeping before the game. It's healthy for them. It's healthy. It's very healthy. I can't confirm. always gonna have the pre-game sleep. A
great quote by Thomas himself. Don't sleep on sleep.
Don't sleep on sleep.
Don't sleep on sleep.
You heard it here first.
That's something we've probably said at every interview now. I swear we've said it at every interview now.
I mean, next time.
Or you heard it here?
Both. Don't sleep on sleep. It's like the saying. It's just like Hall of Fame sayings.
Yeah, we need to get you a T-shirt that says
I know, but when you go into the locker room, someone goes, "Man, just had a great nap." You go, "Hey, don't sleep on sleep."
Don't sleep on sleep. Tom was right. What's one thing professional athletes go through that like us? No, I wouldn't even say we're more than fans now. We're like, I think we're starting to reach that echelon of media, Tom. You know, we're a bit more. We're like Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman at this point. Like
Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless.
Pretty much. I'm pretty much
You're
Shannon
Skip.
Sharp at this point.
You're Skip.
I'm
No,
not
you're
Skip. I'm not
You hate on
Skip.
LeBron. You hate
I
on
don't hate.
LeBron.
Oh, okay, we're not gonna get into this. We're definitely not gonna get into this. But do you have do you like what's something that like athletes would go through that the typical fan wouldn't necessarily know about?
You just miss all the holidays. Like you just miss everything. You miss birthdays, you miss weddings, you miss all that stuff. And I think that's kind of particular to it's not. I've been watching the like Tottenham that series on like At All Costs or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
On Amazon,
And like
yeah.
first of all, so good. But they miss everything too. So it's not just us. But you really do sacrifice a lot for your sport and it's worth it, but you miss a lot of those little moments that you wish you could be there for.
Right. So like when you're not hooping, what else are you doing in your spare time?
I love to hike. I love to be outside, go to the beach, anything I can do to be outdoors. Work out. I do not like basketball wise, but just like fitness wise. I really enjoy that. I love to read, try to keep myself as intellectually like stimulated as possible, not just be a dumb jock, so to speak. Yeah, and spend time with my family and the people I love if I can.
Right.
Lots of FaceTime.
Oh. Especially in the bubble as well. You just had to find different ways of communication.
Exactly.
Like looking back, did you do anything that like allowed you to stand out from your competition, that allowed you to do the things that you're able to do?
I think just the intangible stuff. So being a good teammate, not having an attitude, being like positive energy, happy to be there. Like our coach this year had a good saying or like metaphor for it. She was like, I'm the bank. And every time you do something well, you hustle, you cheer for your teammate, you put in extra work, you're making deposits. And every time you make a mistake, get frustrated, yell at someone, don't hustle, you're withdrawing. She said, be the players. We want you to be the players who are always making deposits and not making withdrawals. And so that really stuck with me, like just to be the energy and bring the energy, not take it away from the team. So that's something I've always tried to do. And that'll never show up on a stat sheet and it'll never show up like in the media, but that stuff matters. It makes a difference. And I think that's part of the reason I've been on teams in the league is for those things.
It's a good saying. Good coach.
Yeah.
Do you have, so our final question for this whole thing is if there was this amazing episode. Do you have any advice for young kids who want to play pro basketball in the future?
Yeah. This might not be what people want to hear. I'm sure people say like, follow your dreams, you can do anything. But if you're not working hard, if you're not working, someone else is.
That's true.
So I just think kids have to remember that things are not handed to you. And if you want something and you really want it and it's your dream, you're going to have to make sacrifices, whether that's hanging out with your friends, whether that's video games, whether it's watching TV. You're going to have to make those sacrifices, and it might not be super fun in the moment, but if it really truly is what you want, it'll be worth it in the end. I know that's not super that's not super positive, but that's the reality.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
I'm sick of these kids getting spoon fed. It's time to get the truth.
It's time to knock some truth. Look, if you suck, you suck.
No, I'm not saying that. Listen, don't. Keep that mama mentality.
So, some very good advice this episode, guys. Don't sleep on sleep.
That's the main one.
That's the main one. That's the main takeaway.
Nothing else away from this episode.
If you don't take anything else from this episode, sleep on time and take naps. But also, I forget who said it, but it was like every minute you're not working, there's someone else out there that's working harder than you. So take that as you may. If that's in the podcast game, me and Tom working right now. But no, I'm joking.
24/7 around.
24/7. Nah. But anyway, thank you guys. Well, thank you, Blake, so much for joining us. This was a truly amazing episode. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tom's not wearing his beanie, so So he's happy today.
Is this the first time? Why have you brought that up? Is this the
This
first
is
time?
the first time you ever worn a beanie, so you know.
You know,
Anyway.
you seem like my girlfriend. You know, it's getting.
Anyway, I won't keep you guys any much longer. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts is absolute bits. And
True.
leave a comment on your advice to someone. Don't say, give us some new
Don't
advice.
say sleep on sleep.
Don't say sleep on sleep. Give us some new advice. But thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya. Don't sleep on sleep.